Hey everybody, Wisdom here. We just took regular snapshot down the Crackshot Croc upgrade path. Really like it. Just to kind of contrast that one for you really quick, Arrow Explosion takes your base arrow attack and it kind of adds a radius damage effect to it. Traptanium, whatever, the shard attack where you branch out, you basically get 4 orbital shards. They do minimal damage, but I mean every little bit of help, it kind of fans out. You can take on a wider range of enemies, if you will. And then Hydro Arrow is really cool, does a crud ton of damage. Only issue there is that you lose Arrow Explosion ability, which you gain a lot of damage, but in all honesty, I kind of like Arrow Explosion better, just from a practical standpoint. So that said, I really do like that path. I think he's going to turn out to be quite handy with it. Dark Snapshot, I love the aesthetics of, but I don't know, I felt like regular Snapshot was better suited towards that. So since Dark Snapshot is special, I'm going to buy all the upgrades right here in this video. We're not going to go into our usual detail. If you want to see that, be sure to check out his base upgrade video for standard Snapshot. You'll see us go through one by one on each of them. They are very straightforward though. So Sure Shot Croc. Hold X to charge up a Traptanium arrow attack. Again, keep in mind I've got 10 wing sapphires. Price is 400. Basically, what that does for us is we come in and we go from 50 to 75 on the Traptanium arrow attack to 100 to 1. No? Yeah. The charged attack, we go 100, 150, and there's a 2-second charge. So we're going to come in now. Torrential Tide Pool, hold Y to create a controllable Torrential Tide Pool. 560 is the price. This is important for one simple reason. Tide Turner is based around this upgrade, so we need to showcase it to you. Basically, the way it works, you've got 12 seconds it will run. If you just press Y, it's going to run, do about 3 little pulsations, and what I mean by that, you can kind of see the water jump 3 times. Again, same thing here. If you're right up on someone, you can usually get 75 to 112 to 3 times. But if you hold Y down, you can manually control it. I can take it wherever I want to. There is a range point that it'll fail. Keep that in mind. If you don't go out of range, you can actually run 12 seconds. So that's basically what all of the stuff you're going to see in this upgrade path is going to be based off of. Next up is Super Slam. Hold B to charge up an extra powerful Crystal Slam. Its price is 720. The way this one works, you basically need like 2-3 seconds to charge it up, and you do 228 to 342 damage with it. So where we basically had this, and then interestingly enough, if you do a regular jump slam, it's different damage. You'll see that play out later, but when you hold this down now, he automatically releases, and it's a very powerful 228 to 342. Final base upgrade is called Amazing Arrow. Improved Traptanium Arrow does extra damage. So we're going to go ahead and pick this up for 960. And since we know what we're going to do, again, if you want to see Crackshot Croc, I took standard snapshot down that. Take the link at the top of the video description box. It'll take you to posts where you can find not only the attack damage spreadsheet, but also the standalone video itself. That said, for Dark Snapshot, we're going to do something different. I hope this pans out. A lot of times these paths I'm not really sure about. When you actually play them, you turn out to realize, hey, this is actually better than I anticipated. So, Tide Turner fits that bill. It's not something, if I just had one snapshot, I'd stick with what I know would be good or assume would have to have a very highly probability of pleasing me, whereas this one is kind of more of a crapshoot. I don't know if I would like it or hate it, and that 50-50 would be defeated by the higher probability Crackshot Croc would appeal to us and function in the game. This one, you run that risk. I may not like it. The other one's more straightforward, but sometimes, just like, the Media Griffins with Sonic Boom and, Double Trouble's clones, everything, the paths I'm not initially drawn to have oftentimes proven to be quite nice. So, Tide Turner, improve the Tide Turner attacks. We're going to go ahead and grab that and save ourselves from a cutscene. So that final one we got in the base upgrades, though, just to showcase it real quick to you. Amazing Arrow, obviously the aesthetics there. But as you can see, we're doing 65 to 97. Then if I hold it down, 130 to 195. So we're going to come in and now finally get started on the Tide Turner. Again, I only did that stuff for you, the recap, because it is Dark Snapshot and he is special to me. So if I just had 2 standard snapshots, we'd have just jumped right in. So Big Wave Torrent, this is our first upgrade down Tide Turner. Torrential Tide Pool is bigger and does more damage. Price is $13.60. Let's go ahead and grab that. How much bigger is the question of interest here? So we're just going to tap Y. Again, that was 3 seconds prior, or 3 rounds of damage. Let's send it towards the bridge, actually. That is way bigger. Like significantly bigger. So we're still getting that same 3 pop there. Let's see what it does to the dummy. So 100, okay. Critical should be 150. Let's see if we can control it. Maybe get a critical. There's a critical. That worked out well. So every other one was a critical there. We got 6 hits. So Big Wave Torrent, I'd say it's like double the size, and then 100 to 150, and again basically 12 seconds or 6 hits is kind of how that pans out. Let me kind of showcase it. We'll make sure that it's the 12 seconds.
Press the tag button to play as your captured
roughly, maybe a little bit longer than that. Now, if I send it as far out as I can, stays running actually. So that was a nice surprise. I think it might have actually extended the time just a tad. So 12 to 15 seconds, roughly 6 hits, I would say. You get the general feel for it. We're going to come in now. Second upgrade down the Tide Turner path is called Water Trap. Enemies caught in torrential tide pool become trapped. So that is understandable. Can we showcase that here? I seriously doubt it. So let's see. Let's just try the quick. Okay, no. We're going to have to do our little deal here. Fear not, I've thought of a way to make this more efficient in cases like this. So we're heading off to Chapter 2. This should be pretty easy, these first little buzzer beat guys. We can probably get in there, although it might insta-kill them. So we'll drop down, fight Tussle Sprout, and that should do it for us. So, all right. You're gonna know the start of this level very, very well. I think this is actually quicker than my other options at this point. That's why I continue to come in. Alright, let's just try to send it down from here. Okay, so I can't send it down, so I'm going to have to go about it this way. Well, obviously it's going to one-hit all these guys, but you get a good feel for it, if nothing else. There it is, just on its own. Again, the only real downside to this is that when you do take this path, you actually get to the point where you can't move if you're holding it down. The 3 seconds it auto does it, but if you hold it down for the 12 to 15 seconds, you're out of luck. Now, right here we should be able to do this. Yeah, they actually do. Okay, get stuck in there. Showcase. Can we get Tussle Sprout in there? No, Tussle Sprout seems to be immune to that. But how do we want to kill him? I guess we should just, maybe we'll try it that way. There we go. So it's fitting that we use the attack that we are upgrading.
Tussle Sprout defeated.
Okay, we don't want to trap him. Again, don't underestimate Tussle Sprout. He's actually a really good villain in my opinion. Especially when you upgrade him. He does some pretty good damage for the little dude, One of those things you definitely don't expect it, Alright, so now, what I'm going to do, you think, okay, what are you doing? You showcase this everything, you moron. Go back to the academy. Well, Persephone's right there, and with her there, we can buy the upgrade here, which makes it kind of a special video for you, because we don't usually do that in chapters or in the game. I do them all at the academy, so we've got that going for us. And then on top of that, we can jump right in. We don't have to go back through anything. We can just go straight that direction. So I hope it doesn't send the keys back. We'll find out. Alright, we're going to buy what's Kraken. Again, Kraken, they actually make really good cases. I have several Kraken cases, the Tridents, and they've performed quite well and they're reasonably priced. That said, this is just more about the mythological Kraken. So, Torrential Tide Pool now calls forth the power of the Kraken. This is where, this is probably, a lot of people might think, oh, that's awesome, I've got to get it. My thoughts are, yeah, that might look cool, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking, they probably made that do crud tons of damage. So, oftentimes when I think that, it turns out to be like some mediocre thing that disappoints me. But since I didn't take the path with a regular snapshot, I'm kind of thinking there's a chance it could be significant. So, whatever it is, we're going to find out. The price is $2,400. So we'll go ahead and grab that. And we'll stop there. I'll save the soul gem for the academy. Oh, that was my fault. Although it seems like he should be able to make that jump, in all honesty. Alright, so here we go. Actually, you know what? This is a good spot. Let's just tap Y. Okay, so that's tapping it. You can kind of see him spinning around. Now, I'm not going to control this. I'm just going to hold it down this time. I prefer the aesthetics of it without the Kraken, but in all honesty, I think that's Kraken is going to offset it with how, you know,
Skylanders
hopeful
and the air
it may
element
be. So
are stronger
let's go ahead and
than
get this going. Okay, so 130. He's just basically clearing this area out for us. That was the quick slam, granted we hit him. So we'll go ahead and I'll let the Kraken kind of take care of this stuff for you, and then we'll step out to the academy. So.
Holy guacamole! Well, compadre, neither are we.
Alright.
This is another case where a bomb could really come in handy.
It'd be nice if you could just jump ever so slightly higher. Let's get out of range of that guy. Man, he just eradicates these suckers. So, can we get all of them? I don't really care that we're getting hit. The Kraken destroyed those suckers, so... Oh, look at what it does to that. So is that what they mean he got trapped in the tide pool? I'd showcase it, but he's gonna die real quick, so... that's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. So, 130 and then 195 would be critical. You've got the same 12 to 15 seconds. I think the Kraken will register at the academy. So we're going to head back to the academy and find out for sure. If it does, I'll run the timer again, and then I will also count the damage instances. Water Trap. I wonder if Water Trap is what you saw there at the end, where basically everything we fought was getting killed by the tide pool, and then I think that guy survived, and I think it kind of keeps him kind of unconscious, dazed, just standing there ready to be killed. So let's check it out here. We're going to go ahead and do the hit count and see if we see any criticals. Yeah, 6 hits again in 130 to 195. 12 to 15 seconds and 6 hits. So that's okay. I mean, the fact that Big Wave Torrent basically made it twice the size, and that took the damage up to 100 to 150. This is only 130 to 195, but it's kind of cool, so some people will just enjoy that aspect of it. But I think, like say we were in Nightmare mode, instead of killing those enemies, I think those trolls would have all kind of had like the water-looking hula hoops around them. So I think I'm going to put traps, enemies, not killed. So I'll research that off camera in some Nightmare mode, or actually hard stuff. Can't do Nightmare yet, but we'll have a good time with it. So what we're going to do now is come in here, pick up his soul gem. It's the final thing. 3,200 is the price with our discount. A shard act to follow. Crystal Slam in the air creates a new Traptanium attack. So, if you think, what do they mean in the air? That's what I kind of preluded to you. I noticed in our base upgrades that he was doing different damage. You know, this is his Crystal Slam from the ground. He's doing 120, and then if you jump up in the air and do it, Well, now that's the soul gem, but he was doing 100, and I thought, that's weird, he does different damage. And I was sitting here and I said, that must be the leverage you can generate in the torque from when your feet are planted on the ground. If you hold it down, you get the Mega Slam one, which is really good, 228, 342 again. But the soul gem, you pop up in the air, and then you press B or your secondary attack button, and you basically are going to crank out 140 to 210 on the initial hit, and then 20 to 30. Right here, the way I'm hitting this dummy, you basically get 2, sometimes 3 hits of the 20 to 30, but it travels decently, and I've gotten up to 4, I believe. When we come right over here, we'll check it again. You'll see the 2 there and then 2 on that guy. So if there was another dummy in the middle, conceivably it might get hit as well. Again, I'm not 100% sure there, but at least 4, and then you get an idea on the distance there. So roughly from the front dummy to the back dummy over there by Persephone's treehouse. That said, this is Dark Snapshot, taking down the Tide Turner path. Really, it's going to come down to your personal preference. If you feel like you're going to use, you know, his tertiary attack all the time, or quite often torrential tide pool, by all means take Tide Turner. If you think, you know what, I don't really like that attack, I prefer the arrows and the slam, then be practical and take Crackshot Croc. If you sit there and you analyze it and you think, you know what, his arrows are actually really quick, they do high damage, you can charge them, I like his secondary attack. What's the weak link? It would be his tertiary. Let's go ahead and do that. The main thing with Tide Turner is, number one, you've got to be inclined to use it. If you're just going to come in and spam the arrows, don't even take Tide Turner. It's of no benefit to you. If you like to balance the characters out, it's a pretty good option. Again, if you don't go down Tide Turner, your tertiary attack's going to be doing the 75 to 112. So your damage jumps from 75 to 130 on if you take Tide Turner. And then in addition to that, you get the trapping effect. And the biggest deal to me is it's like roughly twice the size as when it's box stock. So that said, I still think personally I prefer Crackshot Croc. I do wish that Hydro Arrow maybe was a little lesser damage and maintain the arrow explosion effect. I think would have been the ideal setup for me. But that's just my personal preference as I play the game with these guys. Maybe do some high-level Doom challenges or something. I might change my tune. But I do think Tide Turner has a pretty good spot. I think I will get quite a bit of use out of it. And the beauty of having 2 figures, especially when they're different between Snapshot and Dark Snapshot, if I'm going along and I'm thinking, man, I wonder if I would like Tide Turner better, it would have been more practical here. I can come in and I can switch characters and go at it. Biggest downside to Tide Turner, and there is a big downside, it's just say that you are against tough enemies and some of them get around you, or you're going after the biggest ones and maybe some trolls or chompies come in from the back or flank you from the sides. As long as you're holding Y down for the 12 to 15 seconds, you are frozen in that position, and anything that comes up from behind will hit you. So that's something to keep in mind. That said, I don't really think you can go wrong with either path. It just comes down to which one will benefit your playstyle more. So I will leave it at that. We've got him covered pretty well. This one went a little quicker than the other path, so that's a nice nod. Again, it's about 4 in the morning. I'm pretty tired. Probably going to edit these and call it a night. But for myself, Snapshot, and of course Dark Snapshot here. Very cool to have the starter pack guy fully upgraded finally, so I'm excited about that. But as always, thanks so much for watching. Take that link at the top of the video description box. In addition to this Tide Turner upgrade path, you'll see Crackshot Croc. You'll see his base upgrades as a standalone video. You will have access to my spreadsheet with the attack damage numbers. We'll also have the unboxing, all kinds of information on Snapshots. So be sure to check that out. You can follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Yet again, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you back here for our next Trap Team upgrade session.